All right, friends, today we're going to be looking at Y4, which is evaluating multiple variable expressions. So we're going to have multiple things going on. So as you can see in this first problem that I'm given here, I'm going to have to do a lot of steps. So if you remember from previous grade level, we talked about order of operations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share a whiteboard with you all, and I'm going to kind of walk you through this understanding of these problems. Now, I know that maybe some of you aren't watching these, but I do this just in case someone does. So I'm going to write what I see. So I'm going to write 4 plus 3, and this is kind of like what I need to see in your notebook, plus C. They tell me that C is 14, so I'm going to put 14 here. And I know it's going to take me a second to write this out, but understand that the whole importance of this is doing it correctly, divided by, and accurately, divided by D, which is they have labeled as 7 plus 6. Now, in evaluating this expression, I have to follow a system. The system that you should have, talked about is order operations, which says that we first evaluate anything in parentheses. In my problem right here, there are no parentheses. So I go to the next step, which is evaluate exponents. I don't see any exponents, so then I have to look for multiplication or division within my problem. That's the third step. I see division, 14 divided by 7. So that has to happen first. So I'm going to evaluate that. And then evaluate that, I'm going to draw a little arrow like that, and I'm going to write 2 here. And I'm going to rewrite the rest of these things. So I have 4 plus 3 plus 2, and then plus 6. So when I have this, right, all this is addition. So I can just add now, right? Add simultaneously. So 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So I can write this is 7. This is 7 here. So it's not giving me a little thing to draw there. So I'm going to draw. That's 7 plus 2 plus 6. So that's 9 plus 6. And 9 plus 6, evaluating that, is going to equal 15. Now, I know that took a long time to get that problem, but know that math in our heads not really great. Not going to help us in the long haul. Now I have something simple. This is a simple equation, right? There's just one step. I just plug in the numbers and solve. So I have 4 for P times 2. That's 8. Now I have 3 things I have to do. Notice that there's addition and there's division. So I'm gonna talk through it. So I'm gonna write it down, right? So I'm gonna use my eraser here, which I wish that it would erase faster, but it is what it is. Now I'm going to draw and write my equation again. So I have H. H is represented by 8. So 8 plus 18. Sorry about my numbers. Divided by 6. So I'm following my system. Is there any parentheses? There's not any parentheses. So then I look for exponents. There's no exponents. So then I look for multiplication or division, right? I see division. That's 18 divided by 6. That gives me 3. And then I am going to add 8. 8 plus 3 gives me 11. So my answer to this problem is 11. Okay, now I have all multiplication. It's more than one step. So you're just going to evaluate from left to right. So first we're going to evaluate 2 times B, which is 2, which is 4, right? So I get 4 here. And then times 1. Any number times 1 is going to be itself. So I'm still stuck at 4. Times C, which C is 2. So now I'm going to bring 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. And then times 2 again would be 16. So it's good to take it one step at a time. It's it's about being accurate. That's the point here. So now I have all division. So again, I'm going to plug in what I have. So y is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Divided by 2 is 4. Now I have addition, multiplication, and subtraction. So I'm going to erase this so I can write this problem out and solve. And on this lesson, I'm going to try to get as far as I can, but I don't want it to be like something you have to watch forever. And I want to make sure that you all get as much as you can out of this. So I have 18 plus 2. Times v. V, they have told us that v is 4 in this problem. And then minus 4. And then minus u, which minus u is also 4. So first we have to evaluate multiplication in this problem. So 2 times 4 is 8. So that's what I'm going to write. And then now, because all I have left is addition and subtraction, I can read it from left to right. So I have 18 plus a minus 4 minus 4. And then, so 18 plus 8, that's going to be 26. Minus 4, it's going to be 22. Minus 4 again is going to give me 18. So I'm going to type 18 as my answer.
Do fractions into decimals, right?
So now I have an easier equation, just s minus t. So s is 20, t is 20, 20 minus 20 is 0. That was nice of them to give us something easy. Oh, I have another one, g minus d. This is super easy too. Oh, look, it's 20 minus 20 again, 0, right? So some of these problems, oh, look, and then they give us another one when we have to do a system. But this is all subtraction, so we're going to try to follow this, in our understanding of this. So 20 minus 17. 20 minus 17 is 3, minus 1 is 2, minus another 1 is 1, minus another 1 is 0, right? So that wasn't too bad. And then now I have another one of these problems where there's multiple things going on. So I'm going to take this eraser and draw on this little whiteboard for you all so that you all can see what I'm doing, which is, using a system to solve and not just plugging numbers in and getting confused. Right? So I have 1, and then they say plus n. N in this problem is 1, plus 3 times m. M in this problem is 5, and then plus k. So in this problem, I have to again use, and k in this problem is 3. Again, looking at this problem, I have to use my system, which is understanding order of operations, which says that we have to evaluate things in parentheses first. There are no parentheses. To evaluate things in exponents next, there are no exponents. Then I have to look for multiplication or division. I see multiplication, so I must do that first. 3 times 5 is 15, so I evaluate that, draw on that little arrow there. Then I have 1 plus 1 plus 15 plus 3. And since I'm adding these numbers, I can just add consecutively. So 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 15 is 17, plus 3 is 20. And then now it's just just plugging the numbers in. 15 divided by q, so 15 divided by 5 is 3. T divided by u, so 8 divided by 4 is 2. So they're being nice and giving us some easy problems, and then they give us another problem where we have to write it out, right? So this is where we're like, oh, I have to do multiple things at one time. Yes, that you do. Okay, so I'm going to draw here. So 2 times n, and in this problem is 2. And then times p, which p in this problem is 5, times 2, minus 20. Now this is already laid out the steps for you, so you're going to evaluate things as you come across them in the order that you see them, from left to right, like reading a book. So I have 4 times 5 times 2 minus 20. So 4 times 5 is 20 times 2 minus 20. So then I have 40 minus 20 as my end result, which should give me 20. Now I have h divided by m divided by 1 to the k power, right? So now this one involves an exponent. So the first thing that we're going to do says parentheses. And we have to, there's no parentheses, but I do have to evaluate exponents. So I'm going to write this one out. I'm going to have to erase. I have to erase here. Give me a second. I'm going to get my drawing out. So h is 10 divided by m. M is 5 divided by 1 to the third power. So I first have to evaluate exponents. This is an exponent up here. So to evaluate that, that represents 1 times 1 times 1. And that means that 1 times 1 is 1 times 1 is 1. And then I do 10 divided by 5, which 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Now I have d times k to the h power times 2 to the second power. So again, they're giving us a little bit of exponents, which evaluating exponents does not mean that you just multiply a number by 2. They actually mean something. So let's look at that. So that's d is 2 times k. K is 2 to the h power, which is 2 times 2. So first thing we have to do is evaluate our exponent here. That's 2 times 2, which is 4. And then you have this 2 times 4 is 8 times 2 is 16. All right, so now I have a longer expression. So again, I'm going to write it out. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to write everything out. So d is 13. Plus h is 16, divided by 2 to the third power, plus 1. So I'm going to evaluate first the exponents, because it goes parentheses and exponents. So this represents 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Right? So then I'm going to write 13 plus 16 divided by 8 plus 1. So now I have to look for multiplication or division. I see division, so I must evaluate that next. That's 2. I have 13 plus 2 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Okay, so now I have parentheses. So now they're adding another layer to this, or they're just adding another component that you must look for. Okay, so I'll draw this again. So k in this problem is 2 plus 5, and that's in parentheses, which means that we must solve that first. Plus 7 plus 2. So that's 7 plus 7 which is 14, plus 2, which is 60. And now I have more, right? So they're not making this easy to get to that 90% for me today, which is perfectly fine because the whole point is you want me to have hard problems so I can walk through them. So I have 9 squared, or 9 to the second power, that's the same thing, plus 19 divided by s, which is s here is 5 to the u power, which is to the second power, divided by 2. So I must evaluate what's in parentheses first. 9 to the second power means 9 times 9, which is 81. 81 plus 19. 81 plus 19 is, that's a nice number for us, that is 100. So I have, once I evaluated what's in that, that's 100 divided by 5 to the second power. 5 to the second power must be evaluated, and that is 5 times 5 is 25. So 100 divided by 25, which is 4, divided by 2, which is 2. We have one last problem. So then we have 2, we have parentheses, so we're going to write this out and not be lazy because Lord knows we all want to be lazy, but we got to just finish, make it to that 90%. So I have 2 plus c. C in this problem is 3 plus parentheses b. B is 6 plus 1 plus 6. So must evaluate what's in parentheses first. 6 plus 1 is 7. Then I have to do 2 plus 3, which is 5, plus 7, plus 6. 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. And that, my friends, is how you get to 90% in Y4, which is evaluating multiple expressions.